Trying to make more content means drinking more whiskey. I mean, what could go wrong? Today, Maker's Mark 46. Welcome to KIllco Whiskey Musings. My name is Brian, and you saw the video title. You clicked on it, so you know what we're doing. Plus, I said it at the beginning. It's this. And just for you, 94 proof, 47%. And the interesting part, barrel's finished with 10 French oak staves. Oh. Admittedly, I don't have much experience with French oak staves, but I do have a recollection, a memory, if you will, of having, I think it was a Balcones that was finished with French oak, and I actually enjoyed it. So since I already like makers, we'll see. Oh yes, the red wax of copyright. I hope this comes off easily. It doesn't feel like it will. So far, so good. Please, just once. Once in my life. You know, this might be part of it. It comes off slowly. Slowly. Exciting content, I know. There we go. I gotta admit, I just really like to look at this bottle. I don't quite know why. Pause for cork pop. I hope. Lovely. Oop, there we go. Fake cork. It's fake. Before I get too much farther into this, I have to remember to say thank you to everyone who was on the stream last week. What was it last week? Week before? Recently, at the time of this recording, who helped to donate to get me this bottle. I thank you all. I've been wanting to try this whiskey for a very long time, and finally, at long last, I get to try it thanks to all of you. And there we have the color. And I'm just going to call it bourbon colored from now on and piss a lot of people off probably. But I'm not wrong. One of the funniest things that's been happening is whenever I open a bottle like that, I get like a whiff of the bourbon right out of the gate. But only a hint. So now we shall begin our expertise nosing techniques. Funny enough, I'm not getting that cherry note that I expected. There is something very different about this. What is that? It's almost like a funk or a... I don't want to say it's definitely a wine thing, because I'm not exactly sure what French oak does. From what I remember, and reminder, I have a terrible memory, it did do some kind of fruity, like red wine kind of thing to it, and I think I'm getting that. I'm getting this little weird funk that I can't quite place, so continue doing this for a little while, give it a little swirl. That's not a swirl. Give it a swirl, there we go. Let's see what I think here. It's hypnotizing. I feel like I'm getting a chocolate thing too. It's sweet, of course. It's bourbon. But that's often one of the things that is immediately apparent to me, and then I just don't say it because that's what I get from a lot of different whiskeys. Bourbons tend to taste and smell rather sweet to me immediately. I am still getting the usual stuff, like it seems like there's a brown sugar thing, and it seems like there is a vanilla thing, but it's just... there's something slightly different about it. It's not the most forward thing. It's this other kind of creepy... it's not a moss thing, but it's a funk of some sort. Nothing like scotches. And I'm having, as usual, a hard time trying to pick out the words because vocabulary and things and stuff and things. It's a little spicy. I had to put my nose in there pretty far, but I did get a little too close for a second there, but I did get a little kind of baking spice thing. I don't know if it was cinnamon or if it was clove, maybe? Something like that. I really just want to drink this, though. Alright, let's begin the drinking part, which, as always, I think we enjoy. And I'd like to say, which I haven't said before, if you have this in your glass now, please feel free to drink along with me. Oh. Ow. Whoa. Yep. First drink of the day, by the way. Okay, for the first sip, again, first sip, you're not going to get a very good analysis of it, honestly. And I tried to just take the sip and have the sip, but part of me is thinking about it a little. There was kind of an oak thing-ish, or a tannin thing, or a wood thing, and a peculiar, like, raisin or grape thing, kind of like on the smell. And I'm assuming that's because of French oak. But nothing crazy. It did burn going down. As soon as I felt that burning sensation, everything else I was experiencing just kind of disappeared. So I will continue on to phase 2, where I just hold it on my tongue for a moment. But first, I will cleanse with some water. My whiskey tribe water. Oh, that's good. For round 2. Yeah, more tannins, a little chocolatey. And a little bit of fruit, yeah. Granted, this is nothing like the French oak I had before with the Balcones stuff, but then again, that was Balcones. Different thing. I have a feeling Maker's Mark is a lot more subdued in some ways. I'm definitely enjoying it. This is not, I mean, I like Makers to begin with, so I'm not going to be overly critical of this. And of course, unfortunately, people did hype it up a little for me. There's a lot of viewers will say we're saying it's really good. I'm not disagreeing with them. I like where the proof is. I like the taste of it. I like Maker's Mark. It would have to taste really bad or smell really bad for me to dislike it. So, I'll say that to the camera, because I have some bias. Admittedly, I'm about to throw the usual audience a curveball. Normally, after having a couple sips, giving a few notes, because, you know, I need a bit of vocabulary, certainly, I would talk about a whiskey app. I'm not going to do that. I know. So here's the thing. The app I've been using, and the website I've been using, the app still works fine. So if you want to get the app on your phone, go ahead. But going to the website on both of my browsers that I use, you know, they give me a bit of a warning. They're like, you should probably not go to this website. And I went, okay. And unfortunately, that means I'm going to have to take out the link below, and you're not going to be able to use it. Again, I think the app on my phone is perfectly fine, but I don't want to be doing this for my videos. So, as suggested by the Whiskey Mountain, I'm going to use this. He says, pointing at nothing, but hoping he remembers to edit the thing in later. Took a little doing, but I found an aroma wheel that I'm going to use for this video. And if I don't like it, because I haven't really looked at it in depth other than it's easy to read, I'll continue to use it in the future. It does kind of the same thing. I'm going to be able to get some vocabulary and kind of play off what I said before. And we'll see how it works. If I don't like the wheel, if I find something better, find a different site. I know distillers out there, but I don't really like using it. We'll see. This is all new, as is making more content. So, enjoy. I should probably say this because it's going to be on the screen. This is a wheel I got by, it's called the Whiskey Aroma Wheel from Aromaster.com. They didn't pay me or anything. It's just, that's what it says on the wheel, and I'm not going to try to hide that fact. More importantly, I'm going to do something smart and put it on the screen in front of me, so at least I'm kind of looking at the camera. Let's begin, shall we? Alright, some of the things I said were... This is kind of helpful, as I said, that's why I'm using it. It has an inner circle here, and it says fruity, floral, grassy, cereal, fainty. Still a word I'm a little confused about. Should look that up first. Peaty, and then matured and charred toasted oak barrels. So, that's not something I would say directly, but, you know, I'd say woody, or nutty, or spicy, or winey. Which I wouldn't say winey. But anyway, those are in that category. So everything is chunked off in little categories, and it branches out from there, giving me more words. Again, I hopefully put it up there so you can see, but it's going to be real tiny. I apologize. Alright, I did find some fruit notes, and they have a bunch of options, like citrus, tropical fruits, palm fruits, ooh, stone fruits, red berries, dried fruits. I'm going to look at the dried fruits category first. It only has a few, and even in my head I have more options already. It's like I've been doing this for a while. But for dried fruits, the main ones it has are prune, dried fig, and dried apricot. And I'm not getting any of those. As I said, I have like a raisin thing, or a wine kind of thing. It's in that category. They have plum on here, which I like the idea of, but that's not quite right either. Alright, let's go into the oak area, because there's a little bit of that. And again, this is French oak, so I'm trying to get something I'm not quite accustomed to in here. Alright, it does have winey on here, which it just should say wine. Wine-ish? I don't know. Anyway, they only have two options, and that's just a type of wine, which guess what? I don't know how to figure that one out yet. But they have Madeira and Sherry. It certainly has a red wine thing to it. And I'm assuming that's what both of those are, but again, I don't know wines very well. I did get a little spice. Clove or nutmeg, maybe? For woody, it has very specific things, but they're not... Well, I mean, they have pine, cedar, and sandalwood and oak. I'm clearly going to say oak, because I know it's French oak, but I also know that French oak is not doing the same thing as regular standard oak does. And the other one they have on here is nutty. I'm not getting any nutty thing. Again, nutty is one of those things that's kind of evaded me this whole time. But we do have vanilla on here as well, and honey and caramel. I would say more vanilla than anything. And now I've transferred over to the cereal area and the fainty area, just to see what's there. Fainty, again, is really weird. I get it when I start to look at what the products are here. So it says tobacco and leathery, black tea, butter, candle wax. I get a little bit of leathery sensation just from drinking it. And that's more like a on my tongue thing rather than a taste. And under cereal / roasted, we have toast, chocolate, coffee, and licorice. I do feel like I'm getting a chocolate thing off here slightly. I couldn't tell you which kind of chocolate. I don't think it's milk chocolate, but I'm not sure if it's dark chocolate, so... Whoa. And we also have coffee over here, which I would kind of... you know, as soon as I read some of these words, it's like, is that in here? I think so, maybe. And while going around this wheel, we bumped into the grassy area. And it went over to mint and eucalyptus. And I started thinking I got some kind of mint or eucalyptus thing out of here. Not really, but it's, how do I describe this? It's sort of like the cooling feeling of mint. If that makes any sense to anyone, I hope it does. And I will admit I did skip over an entire section of this wheel, but that's the peaty area. And considering this is a bourbon, doesn't really apply. I looked at a bunch of the words just to check, and... You know, the closest thing that might have shown up, which didn't, was like bacon or something of that nature. There's nothing like that on here. I realized something else. Well, I cannot give you the average price paid on many of these. I can tell you how much I paid for it, and for this bottle in particular, it was $37.99. It's a deal, really. As for the expert tasting notes, or official tasting notes, I've actually had to do a little bit more than usual. I went to the Maker's Mark website. Unfortunately, with website kind of stuff, you get, you know, the general sort of thing. They're trying to appeal to a wide audience. They use a lot of buzzwords. Let me demonstrate. Tasting notes. Aroma. Hints of wood staves, caramel, and sweetness. You could say that about any bourbon, basically. Taste. Very intense flavors. A big crescendo of wood blending perfectly with deep, complex, and rich notes of vanilla and caramel. Did I mention you could say that about any kind of bourbon? Oh, here's the best part. The finish. Smooth and subtle. Yeah, official notes are going to get weird from here on out, I think. While the Maker's Mark webpage may be kind of meh with their official notes, I still recommend you check their webpage because there is a lot of story on how and why they made this Maker's 46 bottle. And I'm not going to read the whole thing to you because that would make it a very long video. Well, there's my little review of this. I have so many more Maker's stuffs to go through, you have no idea. And I'm going to attempt to make more content because honestly I have so many bottles and I just need to open them. Thanks to all of you. Again, I stream on Fridays and Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I would love if you would visit. We pretty much just drink whiskey and chit-chat. It's a lovely time. So maybe I'll see you there. Till next time, live long and prosper. Don't forget to be awesome and slumcha. Thank you for joining me on KIllco. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.